My name is Grant Alexander. My channel is The Grant Alexander. I'm not a big fan of categories and putting people in places, but if I had to, I'd like the term maker because it's all encompassing. Makes it more inclusive, and inclusive is better in my world. Last project I was working on was a friend of mine's making a live edge bar and floating shelves, and I was helping him out with that. Eventually it'll be a video on my YouTube, so stay tuned for that. So my favorite tool, it really ends up a lot of times being whatever tool I happen to be using at the time is my favorite tool. But a tool that I like to use the most, it's really a toss-up between my table saw and my bandsaw. The table saw has a special meaning to me. It's my grandfather's. He had it for a long time, and when he passed away I got it. The bandsaw, I just really love how it looks. It's a 1946 Delta. I just really like old vintage tools. So that's why I like those two. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be the table saw. It's probably been making a sled that I made for my son. One of the first projects I made. And when I look back at it, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to make a YouTube video. It's because I felt like I wanted him to see the work that had gone into it one day later, and know, see maybe the joy on my face as I'm making it. I think he'll really appreciate that later in life. I didn't have that, but I wanted to capture those moments so that he'll always have them later. In terms of skills I want to learn everything. It's really easy to say, like, oh, I want to learn X or Y, but I really like learning new things all the time. I tend to not become a perfectionist, or I tend to not become an expert in any particular skill. If you watch my videos, you'll see I'm definitely not an expert at anything I'm showing. But I just like learning, and I find as you get older, there's less opportunities to learn in your life and career, and you're not going to school, so or you might be still going to school, you might go back to school, but there's less opportunities as you get older. You've learned a lot of things. As you get older, there's less things to learn, even though there's pretty much an infinite things to learn. But I just like learning, so I just want to learn everything. But one thing that I have been wanting to try, because I've never been successful at it in the past, is doing any kind of epoxy work. It's very easy to screw up epoxy work. So it's something I think would be really good to try.